started cooking, but I cut up some yellow onions. There is butter and Worcestershire sauce in there, and I'm letting them saute. In here, they are called Semmel dumplings, or Semmel Knödel. It's a German dumpling that's made out of basically, Semmel is like a roll, so it's a bread dumpling almost. And they say to let them soak for 5 minutes, so I'm letting them soak, and then you're going to let them boil for 15, I think they said, 15 minutes. I'm just turning them over so both sides gets water in them. Because you can see there's, I don't know if you can see, but there's little holes in them, and they're starting to get a little bit wet. So I'll let these cook down a little and saute until they're a little more translucent, meaning you can kind of see through them. And then what I'm going to do is put some beer in there, because I have this Oktoberfest beer, and I'm actually making weisswutst, which is a German white sausage. While I let my onions saute, I'm going to make another dish, or rather a side dish. I'm going to do some sautéed spinach with garlic, and I usually buy garlic that's I try to buy US garlic. New York has a very big region that does garlic, but it's not really in season right now, so my garlic is coming from Spain. They said that a lot of times you can see issues with the garlic that comes out of China. It is cooked, or not cooked, but it's farmed a lot differently than it is in the United States or other places, and sometimes they can use some kind of toxic materials in their soil or water. And I've even heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, that if you get the peeled garlic coming out of China, they have people peeling it in China and will even use their teeth to open up the garlic. So again, I don't know if it's true, but I tend to not buy it. So in my pan over here, I have oil. Now I'm using grapeseed oil. I tend to like it better, but you can use olive oil. And you saw me starting to chop that garlic. Hopefully you can see it. I think there's a glare on there, and I can't really get that out, but nonetheless, I am chopping garlic. I don't care how much is in there. I tend to put a lot more than I need. But I really do like the taste of garlic and things, so I tend to put more than less. And there's 1,001 ways to peel garlic. I've seen you can put them in cans and shake it, and it takes off the peel. I also see people say you can but hit it, and it's supposed to open it up. Like, for example, let's see. You go like that. That tends to open it up. But in the smaller pieces, I just don't like doing that, because it just smushes it, and I just don't want to deal with smushed garlic. I kind of just like to chop it. So what you'll see I do is just cut edges and then cut it off, or peel it off with my own hands. My hands are quite clean, so I don't worry. I'm clearly not cutting correctly. I know I shouldn't cut that way, but that's kind of what I'm used to, so I definitely do it that way. So I'll cut this and I'll be right back. So you can see it's warm. I can put my hand close to it. It's actually not on top of it, but it's close. So I want it like that. It probably could stay a little while longer, but that's fine. Yeah, see, it's not sizzling. I should probably let it go a little more, but that's okay. I'm throwing the garlic in and letting that saute. You have to be careful with garlic because it can... Everyone say hi to my cat. You gotta be careful with garlic because garlic can brown fairly quickly. And I know you're having a hard time seeing. I need to get a new setup, but I'm letting the garlic saute, and I'm gonna cut it off for now until it starts browning a little, and then I'll be back. Alright, so you hear it bubbling or sauteing, and I'm kind of just letting it go. I continue to mix it. The pieces are a little bit bigger than I wanted, but that's alright. You can use like a mandolin microplaner or something like that to make the thin slices. I really don't care. I don't really care what it looks like, to be honest with you, as long as it tastes good. And I'm going to leave it at that. While that is continuing to brown, I have a it's called single serving of mushrooms. It's already pre-cut for you, and it's very nice. I believe these are from the US, and I washed them twice just to make sure there was nothing on them. So throw them in. Now, I actually really love mushrooms, and I've loved mushrooms ever since I was a little kid. And I remember when I was little growing up, we would have pizza every Friday for dinner. And my mom and dad would always ask me, you know, Tiffany, what do you want on the pizza? My answer was always mushrooms. A kid that little asking for mushrooms, I think, is bizarre, but, you know, nonetheless, I used to love mushrooms. And half the time I would just eat half the pizza, not the whole pizza, but half a piece of pizza, and just pick off the mushrooms. And if you ask my parents, I used to call them mushrooms. I can't remember exactly, but I used to go, I want mushrooms. It was kind of funny as a kid. So, to this day, everything I do, mushroom, everything. Now, I'm letting, again, this brown. I like my mushrooms pretty well browned. Some people like mushrooms raw. I don't. I prefer them fully cooked. So, I'll just kind of let them go. And I'm also, I'm using the same spoon for both because they're both vegetables and I'm not cross-contaminating anything. Anyway, I also put on the back, I don't know if you can see it, back there is my dumplings. I'm waiting for them to boil. So what it is 15 minutes. After the 5-minute soak, it's a 15-minute simmer, and then I think you let it sit for about 5-10 minutes. Because it is very hot. I tend to let it go for about 20 minutes. For other reasons, then I just make sure it's fully compacted together. Because what essentially the boiling is doing is taking... Basically, if you've ever had fresh stuffing, or even stovetop stuffing, it's just cubes of bread, and what the boiling process is right now is putting it all together. So I'll let everything kind of go for now, and I'll be back with the spinach in a moment. Before I let the spinach go in, what I'm going to do is work on the protein, which is weisswutst. Weisswutst is German sausage. It's very similar to bratwurst. It doesn't have parsley. It's very good. I love it. It's a blend of the, not bland, but it's a milder sausage than bratwurst. So I tend to like eating that a little bit more. As far as the components, I think it's like a chicken, veal, and pork, if I remember, but I'm not sure. So anyway, I'm just opening my beer. And I'm going to put it in here. This one is, as I said, Oktoberfest. But you can use whatever you want. I tend to want to put in a darker beer. But this was a medium. It's not too light. So I put it up high to kind of burn out some of the alcohol. And caramelize some of the flavor components. And again, still stirring my mushrooms. They're not cooked yet, at least for my liking. I like them a little bit darker than this. And then, I don't know if you can see it, but a little bit out there, they're boiling away. So I'll be back. Alright, now we got some boiling going on. Now, the last time I made these weisswutst, I had an issue that they exploded. And I don't know if they were packed too tight or I was cooking wrong at the time. I haven't had that problem until recently, so I don't know. So this could become an epic fail, but it may not look pretty, but it sure tastes good. So I tried now this time putting slices into the, I don't know if you can see it, into the sausage. It probably won't help, but nonetheless, I'll give it a try. That's what I like about cooking. It's trial and error. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but it still tastes good. So I will wash my hands. And I'm going to let that cook. It's down at like a medium, 5 or 6 if you have numbers on yours. And excuse me while I make a lot of noise. That's not going to fit. A little too big, but that's fine. We're going to cover that and let it steam and cook through. Now we're going to work on, over here, the spinach. I'm getting a new one of these because now this has meat in it and I don't want to contaminate. There's been a lot of issues with spinach and romaine lettuce and all that, so I really washed these. And there's still some water on there, which is fine. That doesn't make a difference. But put it in the pot, put it on low. This tends to cook fast. So watch it and stir it. This probably is not enough spinach. Looking at it, it's going to really wilt down. But it's only 2 people eating right now for this, so it should be alright. Now, if you want to put salt and pepper in here, you can do that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get mine. If I can find it. Oh, goodness. And I can't seem to find my sea salt. Goodness gracious, I don't know where I put it. Oh, there it is. I really like Himalayan sea salt. It is one of my favorites. So I put a little salt in there. It's also going to take the water out of the spinach. Helps it to wilt faster. So if you really want it to wilt extremely fast, put in some sea salt, or salt in general. Pepper. Pepper, 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 pepper. Where is the pepper? There it is. You can use white pepper if you want. This is just plain black pepper. And I don't know why I do this, but for some reason it tastes really good. I don't have fresh nutmeg, but this is pre-ground nutmeg, so I do actually put that in there as well. It comes out really good. I don't know why, because I tend to use nutmeg, or most people tend to use nutmeg in more sweet cooking. So like if I'm making pies, I'd put it in there. Some cream sauces, I'll put it in there. But spinach just goes well with it. I don't know. It's good. And I don't know if it was I found out by accident or I thought I saw a recipe with it. Regardless. So I have this on super low because my sausages are going to take a little while longer. I'm looking for a set of tongs so I can turn over the sausage. Yeah, cutting the sausage may not have been a good idea either, because I see they're starting to pull apart. I'm going to have to just keep playing around with it. I know when I use these on the grill, they tend to be better on the grill like that, and they don't pop as much. It actually starts to look really funny. Like, you'll see it right here. I don't know if you can see that, but it tends to kind of start splitting and looking like a brain. But that's right, they still taste amazing. I'll leave it open too. And turn that down. There's another recipe that this reminds me of, or I'm thinking of, that I want to do because of the spinach and the brownish sauce. It's chicken, not cutlets, but like grilled chicken breasts. And they put sautéed spinach underneath, and they sauté the spinach with prosciutto, and then they either do like an au jus sauce, or I started using like an Italian salad dressing seasoning kind of situation, and it's actually really good. So perhaps you'll see that soon. And again, my dumplings are sitting back there. They should be done now, but I'm just going to leave them in there for a little while longer. Alright, so letting everything cook and saute and simmer and all those great words. And I'm going to let that do so for another probably about 5-10 minutes. Okay, so I pretty much put everything on the plate. So to get these out, you have to put them under cold water for a little while. It kind of shrinks them so you can get them out of the bag faster. They didn't come out too bad. They didn't really open up too much. And I'm currently boiling the beer just to kind of reduce it down so I can use it. Onions look very nice and caramelized, and the spinach wilted very nicely. So when it's done, what I'm going to do is take some of the beer sauce, putting it on top of the dumplings, and obviously adding a little bit more to the sausage. The dumplings will absorb some of the sauce, but not too much. So that's it. This is weisswutst with bread dumplings, spinach with garlic and mushroom, sautéed, and some semi-caramelized onions. Thank you for watching.